Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Joe Cronin Show, and if you haven't subscribed, now's the time to subscribe. This is a little creepy, but we're going to talk about it. And wow, I don't know.
This is Wardlow from AEW, and you're watching the Joe Cronin Show.
A wrestling podcast with attitude.
Boom! What's going on, everybody? It's the Joe Cronin Show. I'm Joe Cronin. Hit the like button and stick the thumb up my ass if you can. So AJ Styles, man, this fan got a tattoo of AJ Styles. We're also going to talk about, remember when Chad Gable was over? Remember that? Whatever. This guy got a tattoo of AJ Styles, man, and a lot of people ask me what I think about it. I mean, no doubt it's a little creepy, right? Because he's got, like, AJ Styles' kids' birth years on him. But, you know, there's a lot of fans who go very far to replicate things to a T. Now, if AJ Styles' tattoo was just AJ, and there was no birth years of his kids, you know, that would be, I guess it would be creepy if then this guy got the birth years of his kids. It's also kind of a little dangerous to give the birth year of your kids out, because then, like, some psycho could just start trying to, like, they know the name of your kid, and then they know the birth year of your kid, and then they have an idea, like, and then all they need is your mother's maiden name, and now they've got, you know, the ability to, you know, maybe do some damage if they're crazy. So, yeah, I can understand the concern about this from a lot of people, but, you know, I just see it as kind of hero worship. It hasn't crossed that line yet. You know what I mean? This is just, he's trying to replicate exactly AJ's tattoo. And that's what AJ's tattoo is. So that's why I'm not that concerned. People were saying, wouldn't you be concerned? And I'd say, you know, not really, because the guy does, AJ Styles does have these dates and does have the tattoo this exact way. This guy got an exact replica of the tattoo. You know what I mean? And by the way, if Randy Orton can sue the WWE 2K games, then couldn't the original artist of this sue this artist who did this? Isn't this, like, you know what I mean? Like, what, you know, Randy Orton's tattoo artist sued, I think, Randy Orton and the WWE or 2K games because their artwork was in the game. Well, what do you call it when you do artwork for somebody who's famous and you're the tattoo person, but then some other person gets that exact tattoo? Isn't that plagiarism or whatever you want to call it? I mean, I don't know. To me, it just seems like that's more of a case than, you know, you look like what you look like now with a tattoo on, and something replicated what you look like in a video game. So as an artist, you sold that art and that tattoo to a person. They put it on their body. It has now become part of them. And if they appear in a video game and that tattoo appears in the video game, there's nothing you can do about it at that point because it's part of them. Now, if the person you tattooed starts going out and putting that tattoo on people and starts tattooing themselves and rips off your artwork exactly, that's different. That's, to me, is plagiarism. That's copying, plagiarism, or making money off of somebody's art. You know what I mean? But it's not, to me, it's not plagiarism you're in a game, this is your body. Once the guy pays $300, $500 for the tattoo and it goes on his body, it becomes part of him, and I feel like it doesn't become what that person thought. But this, I'm going to say it's close on the creepy meter, but I think it's just hero worship. You know what I mean? Now, if this guy was, like, showing up at AJ's house or making calls or, you know, being a real creep online and then got this, then I would be concerned. You put this with anything else, then I would be concerned. But right now, I'm not. To me, it's just some innocent hero worship. Okay. Does anybody remember when Chad Gable was over at the King of the Ring? We've talked about this several times. Okay. And before we talk about it, please think about becoming a patron, everybody. 30 hours of bonus content on Patreon that you can't hear here. We had a couple people whose Patreons never went through because of whatever reason, I don't know, but they were a couple of bigger pledges. So we are in need of new patrons. Not only will you get 30 hours of bonus content a month on Patreon, but you'll support the show. So if you're somebody who loves the shows and you happen to have a couple bucks, you know, and you're not hurting or something like that, and you want to support the show, maybe you want to become a $25 producer, something like that, now is the time that we could use that. Normally every month I just kind of talk about Patreon, sign up and see how it's going, whatever. But usually we're doing so well that I don't need to say much more. Just, hey, check it out, and you're going to get a bunch of bonus stuff. I don't sit there, plugging it and, trying to beg about it. But, if you want to keep us on the air, this is a real statement that right now a $25 producer is open if you want to jump on there. We'll be shouting out the producers this week coming up. Patreon.com/Joe Crenshaw. If you're someone who doesn't donate live and you don't do anything like that ever, but you thought about doing a monthly thing, and you listen to the show enough that it matters, Corrupted, this show, Shame on News, whatever show it is, Joe Cronin Show, all these things, then become a patron. Think about it. Shout out to Hail Metal Forever, who became a VIP again. Thank you to Hail Metal Forever. Bryant Prince, I think it's Scott Winsky, and that's it so far. We got a few others popping in, but I'll figure that out when they come in. There's a lot of Chad Gable. Here it is, Chad Gable. I mean, this is Reddit stuff. I mean, just remember this pop. I mean, I just want to remind you guys. Do you remember it was the King of the Ring tournament too, which is it's always very eye-opening when somebody gets crowd reaction during a tournament. That means they're getting over in some way. By just wrestling, people start feeling a certain way about them and choose them. It's like when a bunch of teams are playing in a tournament and you don't know any of the teams and you're at home and you're a fan, but you don't have a team, right? So you live in Idaho or something like that, whatever. I mean, I'm sure they have teams over there. I don't know. I'm from Massachusetts. We have 4 major sports teams. But it's like living in whatever, like Maine. You live in Maine, so you're going to be like, well, I'm a Boston fan. But let's say you live in Maine and you're watching sports and you don't really care about Boston because you're in Maine. So you don't care about the Patriots, Boston Red Sox, and hockey, whatever. And you're just watching. And you decide, well, the Nashville Predators in the hockey tournament or in the playoffs, something about them you liked, and you start cheering for them. That's the way somebody becomes an authentic fan of a team who maybe didn't have a team before. Something happens and you really fall in love with the team all of a sudden. And that's what happened in the King of the Ring to Stone Cold Steve Austin. You were like, this is the bad guy, but man, he's kind of crazy. It's interesting. And, some of the crowd was cheering for him already because they were older men and they wanted a badass. So some of the crowd was already on board, but then a lot of the other crowd wasn't, but then they became on board with Stone Cold. And but then there was that half of the crowd that was still cheering for Jake Roberts. But by the end of the King of the Ring tournament, at least half of that crowd was buzzing. And Stone Cold cut the promo. And it's like, dude, that was the day that I fell in love with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not sexually, but you know what I mean. And, it barely ever happened again, I don't think, in the King of the Ring that you were like, wow, this King of the Ring, this guy came out of nowhere and captivated us. It really, since Stone Cold Steve Austin, I don't think anybody's done that. And Chad Gable did it in this era. Listen, and what's crazy is he did it on his own. And there was even cues in the match to make you pop at the end. Like when he rolled him up and like Andrade in this clip, when he rolled up Andrade and won out of nowhere kind of, that was the cue to pop the crowd a bit. But he was already popping the crowd with the momentum of the match. Him and Andrade had a really good match, man. It's such a good match. I just went back and watched it again. But here's a little clip of him doing a moonsault towards the end of the match. Listen to the crowd, man.
This is his moment. This is his chance. Just rallying behind Chad Gable.
The whole crowd's chanting Gable.
Hey, go for the home run, Chad. Gable with his own moonsault. Cover. Oh!
So he kicks out. Then there's a distraction by Vega, and all this other stuff goes on. But then Gable recovers and ends up rolling up Andrade.
Cover. Gable beat him. Gable beat him. Gable advances.
Here is your winner, Chad Gable.
Tell me, Corey. Tell me Chad Gable is not.
Zelina Vega's selling on her face, her facial expressions are so great. Andrade, Gable, and Zelina Vega did a really good job here. It just can't be understated. You know what I mean? The guy, he was over, and then they bullied him in the back. They were like, haha, come in the back and will have you beat up every 2 seconds by, what was it, Elias and other people were beating him up. They were just like beating up Chad Gable. And they just started treating him like a dweeb. And I know he does look like kind of like a dweeb. He looks like if Rick Moranis back in the day. He looks like if Rick Moranis was like 28 again or 30 years old again. And Rick Moranis was like, but he was, like muscly and in shape. But he was still a nerd because he still had that face. Gable looks like he's playing Dungeons and Dragons after, school. But I also think he looks good. I think he has a face that they could have made him seem like this great athlete guy. Really built this great athlete, survivor, scrappy. Maybe not even like Daniel Bryan. Not even like Daniel. Daniel's a little bit more precise and stuff. But this guy's scrappy and he'll battle. And he'll lose some fights and he'll lose some matches, but he'll scrap and he'll battle and he'll fight. And he won't, that type of thing. But they really never even conveyed that. They went from, wow, he's on top to just nothing. Just like he's going to get bullied in the back. He's going to get beat up in the back. He's going to lose. Baron Corbin, that's what it was. They basically sacrificed this guy for Baron Corbin instead of the other way around. Because, Baron Corbin could have put this guy over multiple times, and Baron Corbin would still be Baron Corbin, but he would have elevated himself and been something else. Instead, he's just gone again, and Baron Corbin is still the same Baron Corbin, and he still would have been the same. So you kept the guy the same, Baron Corbin. You kept Baron Corbin a 7 out of 10 heel that he is, but Chad Gable, who was becoming a 7, 8 out of 10 good guy, face, who was getting over, then you just whacked him back to a 5, 4 out of 10. It's the most unbelievable burial, and it was wrong. It was a burial. It was misuse. It was killing a career, killing momentum. You just write all the things you can down about how bad the whole damn thing was, and you got it right there. Anyway, tonight is the election. We're going to be having a fun time, a weird time and a fun time, over on my other channel, Corrupted Nation. So I hope you guys come over to Corrupted Nation and view it with us. We're going to be hanging out, drinking, smoking, watching everybody flip out. I'm going to try to have multiple news stations going and weird stuff. And we're just going to be making fun of the whole thing and having a fun time. And if you guys want to have fun, Corrupted Nation, my other YouTube channel, links are all down below for all my other channels. We're talking about Jman News and Corrupted. We might be live on Jman News as well. So both, check it out. We might be on both of them. Alerts will go out on Patreon for this video and everything else we do. And tonight will be hopefully a lot of funny stuff, and we'll watch the world burn and flip out and whatever else. But yeah, wrestling-wise, this is what's up, man. We got a full gear prediction show coming. Me and Jake are going to be recording, and there's so many other things coming to Patreon, so hope you guys check out the Patreon. Also put up a Morning Madness yesterday. If you missed it, go check that out. Leave me some comments down below here on this video so I can read through them and maybe I'll react to them. And I think I'm going to be going back on some of my other couple of videos recently and reading the comments. I told you guys to leave comments on videos the last couple of weeks, and I want to go back and kind of react to some comments, and maybe I can get some content out of that. So I'm thinking about doing that. But what do you think, guys, about the AJ Styles fan who got the tattoo? What do you think about revisiting the Chad Gable burial? We talk about it so much, but I happened to see it on Reddit earlier today, 9 hours ago. Posted by AJ Nakazane Owens, or Samoa Joseph. I don't know who that is. But good post, because we always talk about it. We always talk about how Chad Gable just... I also heard Tony Schiavone's podcast with Brody Lee and... oh, God, who's the referee? Aubrey Edwards. It's actually really good. I got to tell you. I'd put the thing over. It was a good interview with Brody Lee. And Aubrey Edwards is kind of funny. The Unrestricted podcast was actually pretty good. It really was. And how her and Tony shit on each other is hilarious to me. So I'm kind of digging that. So let me put that over, man. Brody Lee. Great stuff. Good stuff with Aubrey and everybody else. And I'm out of here, man. I'm Joe Cronin. This is the Joe Cronin Show. Since 2012 on YouTube. I hope you guys have a good day. Here's some other videos popping up you might have missed. And I hope you become patrons.